August 18th, 2012, 2011.
December 1st,
June 15th, 1991.
Was the scariest night.
Was the scariest night.
The scariest night.
Was the scariest night.
Was the scariest night of my life.
He had long hair. His eyes were just demonic and they glowed.
It's like somebody crawling on the floor, except its joints are dislocated.
Wrapped around me. It was sticking to me. I couldn't handle it anymore.
And as he touches me, I feel pain exploding all through my body. I'm gonna die here. This is the end of my story.
My oldest son and I had found an apartment. We were both really excited about moving into it. We had gotten it at a great price. It was spacious, it had big windows. We just absolutely loved it. It was just before Christmas. We had decorated, I had put up a Christmas tree. There was a beautiful fireplace in the apartment, which I absolutely loved, and I had put up some candles, and there was the manger scene. So there was kind of a religious theme there, I guess. When I first moved in, I had noticed in the door jambs that there were crosses. Somebody tried to paint over them with the white, but the red still came through, so I could still see that they were there. That was really weird and unsettling. We were planning on having friends over to come over and bless the house with us because that's something I believe in doing when I move into a new home. My friend Lorene and Jim, who are both spiritual, came over to do a smudging with me. A smudging is basically when you burn sage and you say a prayer, a holy prayer, or a blessing over the home. Sage is supposedly cleansing, and it helps to rid and purify the air. It also can have a negative impact if there's something there that doesn't want to leave. We started walking from room to room, making sure to get the corners of the room and the closet and any dark places or enclosed places. All of a sudden, I heard this crash. A big glass candle that I had was thrown off the fireplace, off the mantle, and had crashed on the floor and was just broken up into a million little pieces. Kind of got a little scared at first. Not sure how something that big could have gotten off of the mantle. It was very odd.
Maybe we can get your stuff to come in and clean it up. Would that be possible?
There was no reason why this candle should have come off the mantle because the mantle was fairly wide and it should have been pretty secure up there. So at this point, I'm getting a little nervous because I know from reading that, you know, some of these things are indicative of negative energy being in the house. I was thinking at that point, I'm really glad we're doing this smudging today. If there's anything here, hopefully this is gonna help bless the house and get it, you know, normalized. So we cleaned up the glass. when we started smudging again and again.
And we stand in unity with our friend to be cleansed.
Jim and Laureen, we were wrapping things up. Laureen made sure I was okay before she left. I told her I thought I would be fine. I felt vulnerable when Jim and Laureen left because my son, who's in a band, had band rehearsal that evening. And now I was alone. It was getting late, and I decided it was time to get ready to go to bed, and I was gonna go take a shower. I just kept getting this creepy feeling that there was something watching me. There were crosses. That was really weird and unsettling. All of a sudden, I heard this crash. I was feeling pretty vulnerable. I just felt in my gut that things were kind of getting stirred up in there. It was getting late, and I decided I was gonna go take a shower. I felt something brush up against me. And it was the shower curtain. I just kind of brushed it off, though I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I know sometimes when you're taking a shower, you know, there's a breeze or the door opens or something and the shower curtain moves. It started feeling like it was getting closer. It kind of wrapped around me. It was sticking to me. I was attacked. It was painful on many levels, not just physically. It was also emotionally painful. I couldn't handle it anymore. I just let out a yell. I yelled out a scream, and my dog started barking. The shower curtain just released itself and let itself go. I'm feeling very uneasy at that point, and I think there's still always a part of us that you kind of try and talk yourself out of what just happened. So at that point, I'm getting more and more nervous because I'm feeling like this is getting a little personal because now this isn't just items being broken or just a feeling. This is something that's touching me or, invading my space a little bit. So I'm getting very nervous at this point. After all of this, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I just want the day to be over.
Come. Hello, baby. Good boy. Come down.
So I take the dog and I decide we're gonna go to bed. And the dog always sleeps on the bed with me. It was probably a little after midnight. I was awoken because it felt like somebody was walking across my bed continuously. My first thought when this happened was I thought, well, maybe the dog was moving around. I didn't see anything. My dog was next to me. So at that point, I was just like, okay, you know, we're gonna try and get through the night here. I fell back to sleep. And it happened again. It starts with the walking across my bed. But then something is banging into the bed over and over and over again. I start to feel like somebody was touching my shoulder at first. I'm tired. I just wanted it to stop. I wanted it to go away. From there, it started like with shaking. Somebody was shaking me. And then the shaking got violent and just kept going and going. I felt like a rag doll. I'm scared at that point. All of a sudden, I heard this crash. I was feeling pretty vulnerable. I was attacked. It was painful. Not just physically, it was also emotionally painful. Somebody was shaking me, and I wanted it to stop. I'm scared at that point. The shaking got violent and just kept going and going. I panicked at that point. I felt like a rag doll. Then I felt the whole bed moving. At that moment, I think I was, makes me want to cry right now. I was very scared. You're very vulnerable when you're sleeping because you're in a state where you're not really aware of what's happening around you. And here is this thing moving my bed. I set my bed back up, I put the mattress back on. I called my friend Maureen, who came over to do the smudging. I made a phone call to her to tell her what was happening.
So frightened.
She had told me to make sure I said my prayers, that she would check in with me in the morning, and she said that they would come back out and do another blessing if I really wanted.
Thank you.
I didn't really feel like going back to sleep, but I was exhausted. I was sleeping and I felt something brush up against my leg, but I was still sleeping. I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I thought, oh, I thought, well, maybe the dog just moved. I wasn't sure what it was. But then the touching went to almost like a kick. Like, wake up. I was like, okay, that wasn't the dog. As an automatic reaction, I went and I kind of like felt the covers. There was nothing there, and I pulled back the cover. And when I pulled back the cover, this like misty figure just shot up. I could actually see its face. And it's this scary-looking, demonic person looking down at me. And he's wearing a priest collar. He had long hair. His eyes were just demonic, and they glowed. His mouth, although it looked human when he opened it, there were razor-sharp teeth. It looked more like the teeth of an animal. I'm scared at that point. I didn't know what I was looking at. I knew it wasn't good. I knew it was something otherworldly. I was kind of paralyzed. I was afraid to move. I'm just feeling very cold to the bone. I remember Laureen telling me that one of the most powerful prayers you can say is the Our Father. My voice was just shaking, and I'm just saying, like, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And I would get that far, and he would just be laughing. I would just keep trying to get the words out, and I'd start all over again. I just wanted to finish the prayer. I felt like if I could finish the prayer, he would go away. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I couldn't get the words right. I couldn't, I'm starting to feel the anxiety. Because I was so anxious, I just couldn't get the words to come out of my mouth or to say them. And he just was laughing. He was mocking me, saying the wrong words. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. It was like laughing at me, like, go ahead, say all the prayers you want, I'm not going anywhere. I just kept praying and praying for this thing to go away. I was exasperated. I just felt I couldn't do any more. I had to run. I had to get out of there. I just screamed, and I went into the living room, and I was just calling for my son. And I ran out of the room. The entity did not follow me out of the room. And as I'm standing there, all of a sudden, I become aware of just this strange burning feeling. I never felt anything like this before, which made it really scary. It felt like burning.
Did you scratch yourself?
And I looked down, and I could see 4 scratch marks starting to develop across my chest. They became very bright red, very painful. That's when I felt very violated, and I just felt that I couldn't control this thing. I didn't know how to make it stop. And that was the scariest night of my life. My son urged me to take pictures to make sure we were able to show somebody that this happened. So he took out the camera and took some pictures, and we recorded. In the recording, when we played it back, we heard this being or entity say that its name was Luther. I did a little research after this. What I found out was the area the apartment was built on was owned by one family. There had been an epidemic at that time where half of the people that lived there had died. Everybody was named Luther. I ended up leaving the apartment within a month. The activity did continue. That was the night that made me decide to get out of there.
When I was 17 years old, I was in my room finishing up homework and listening to music.
Jason?
My sister came to talk to me because she was going to go house sitting.
You gonna be okay here?
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
You're not gonna have any, like, parties?
I promise.
On you doing homework.
Trying.
Old sessions. Cool.
Yeah.
Bye.
So my sister left, and I finished up my homework. I couldn't have been lying in bed for more than an hour when the phone rang. But when I picked it up, it sounded like somebody was speaking.
Hello?
The sound came out very muffled and distorted. It sounded like, somebody said, I can go to phone.
Hello?
I couldn't make out what was being said or even who was talking. So I hung up. Ten minutes later, the phone rings again. Hello? I figured it was a bad connection and just tried to call it back. I tried to call back.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
The line had been disconnected.
Please check the number and dial again.
Strange. Very strange. I got a little bit worried, like wondering what the heck is this? Who's calling me from a disconnected line? Even though I couldn't make out words, I knew somebody had been trying to pass a message through the line.
Hello?
Jason, answer the phone. Hey!
This time it's my sister and I can hear her clearly.
Hi.
There's something going on. No, like, you don't understand. Like, I can feel there's something in the room with me right now.
She's very panicked on the other end of the line.
Calm down. What?
And she's calling from that house where she's house sitting, and she says there's something weird going on.
I'm not on call, but, like, you need to come over now.
She thought there was someone in the house.
Okay, no, just calm down, okay? Yeah, I'll be there in 2 seconds.
And she wants me to come over right now and help her out. The house she was house sitting couldn't have been more than maybe a 5-minute walk. When I got there, my sister was waiting outside of the house. My sister was very panicked. She was crying. She was shaking. She told me she couldn't go in anymore. She was supposed to sit the house for the whole weekend. She didn't see how she could manage the first night. She told me there was really something weird going on. I told her, I'll go in. I'll see if there is anything in there. And I walked in. I locked the door behind me. I didn't want my sister to come back into the house. I was afraid she might get hurt. It felt to me like being punched in the gut. I felt an overwhelming sense of hatred. It was hard to breathe. Despite the lights being on, there was this sense of darkness all over the house. I walked through kind of like an entryway. I couldn't help but notice a spirit board. Spirit boards can only cause trouble, and it's something that you should not mess with. I've always been more aware of spirits and ghosts around me than other people. I would pick up the emotions, and from there I could know where spirits were and how they felt. I heard a loud bang coming from the basement. At this point, I knew there was something wrong with the house. With more bravery than I should have had, I decided to go explore the basement. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I heard a loud bang coming from downstairs. I felt compelled to check it out. I was walking slowly downstairs because already panic was starting to grip me, and I was starting to be very afraid, but I decided to move forward. Downstairs was creepy, it was dark. And it was basically just a bunch of rooms leading off the corridor. All the toys, it's like they were pushed off the shelves all at once, and they all fell on my head. There was no way they could have all, like, been projected on me all at once at the same time. Something had to have thrown those things on me. I was really freaked out. I noticed a light from behind the second door. A light that wasn't there before when I had first checked on it. And I knew I was alone in the house. At this point, I was really scared. I was thinking this was the biggest mistake I've made to walk into this house. As I saw that light, it was like it was calling me. Like I could hear it whisper inside my head. It was pulsating, like it was alive. I immediately felt this overwhelming concussive force trying to pull me in. The force felt like a sound wave, like being blown like a gust of wind, very strongly and very punctuated in your gut. I felt like there was something in there trying to suck the life from me, trying to suck my spirit from my body. It was almost hypnotizing, but I managed to get my feet back under me, and somehow, I don't know how, but somehow, I managed to overcome it, and with all my might, I was insanely terrified. I'm very dedicated to finish investigating the house, and that's the only thing that's keeping me going at this point. There was one other room that needed to be checked out. It was a bedroom. All the way down my spine, I have this tingling sensation. I was at the point where I wanted whatever that was out there to show itself. I willed myself, and I willed it out into the open. If you meditate and your emotions are high enough, you're more likely to have spirits appear. was really scared. This was the biggest mistake I've made. I felt like there was something in there trying to suck the life from me. I was insanely terrified. I was at the point where I wanted whatever that was out there to show itself. If you meditate, you're more likely to have spirits appear. I must have been doing it for about 10 to 15 minutes. The lights started flickering on and off. I see this shadow. It's like somebody crawling on the floor, except its torso is facing upwards, not downwards, and all of its joints are dislocated. Terrifying feeling starts constricting my throat. I realize at that point that this is enough. I got off the bed. But as I want to leave, the lights went out. And when they came back on, I saw this it had piercing red eyes that looked straight through me. Then the lights flickered and went out again. It disappeared. And as the lights came back on, it was a little closer, and then disappear with the lights flickering. And in a voice that was a lot more steady than I felt, I told him, "Reveal yourself. Show yourself to me." It reappeared right in front of me, and if it had a breath, I would have felt it on my face. One of the only details I can remember is it had a hat. Some sort of fedora hat, like they wore in the 50s. I couldn't see any features. I could only see his piercing red eyes. He lifts his arm up and touches me. And as he touches me, I feel pain exploding all through my body. The lights are flickering, the ground is rumbling. At that moment, I cannot choke down the panic anymore. I lost sense of everything. I just felt exploding pain through my body. I thought that this is it. I am not walking out of this house ever again. I'm gonna die here. This is the end of my story. My sister banged on the door upstairs. It seemed to break that demon's concentration. It turned its head back towards the stairs, and it was either I die here or I get the out. I physically pushed it, and I just went to the door where my sister was trying to get in. But when I got to my sister, I couldn't unlock the door. Then my sister was on the other side, panicked, trying to get through the door.
Jason! Jason!
I managed to unlock the door and open the door and got out of there. As soon as I walked out of there, the first thing I did was I threw up.
What happened? I told you. I have to go. We have to go. We have to go. Okay. Are you okay? Are you okay?
We decided we just needed to walk out of there. And that was the scariest night of my life. Shortly after these events, I moved out of the city. They never found out what that entity was, what was wrong with that house. The house went up for sale maybe 3 months later. I went back to that city 6 years ago, and the house was still for sale.